Salam alaikum. Thank you for watching. I had to step out to say a few words. I have been watching some TikTok lives where Palestinians, their supporters, whether Muslims and non-Muslims, and some Israelis are invited to sort of have open discussions about the situation and the audacity of the Israelis. These people are completely oblivious to the reality of today's world. They don't realize things have changed, that they are naked in the global stage, and it's not pretty. They are so annoying and downright idiotic. I mean, just the things they say. One of these idiots, he said, well, pew, 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 pew. We're gonna blow up all of the Muslim nations. Pew, 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 pew. We're gonna drop bombs in every single one of them, and there's nothing you can do about it. I am like, boy, you can't even fight the H group. You can't even fight them directly. You are losing the battle one-on-one. You are so pathetic that all these fabrications about how smart the Israelis are, how their military is the fourth in the world, fourth most powerful nation in the world, how successful the state of Israel is. If Israel is so successful, then why are you a welfare state? Why Israel is, I think, probably the number one welfare state in the world. The education sector, the food sector, the housing sector, all of it is paid for by the United States of America. Without it, Israel would have no legs to stand on. Not to mention Israel would not be able to fight anyone, let alone bully the Muslim world, without the most powerful nation in the world backing them. That's why they had the Israeli flag and the US flag sewn together as if it's one nation. It's not one nation. The American people are waking up to the reality. And the truth is out there for the whole world to see. And you're not going to get away with any of this bullshit that you're doing. You have no common sense, zero humanity for people who went through what you went through. You think you can bully the world to submission, to love you, to respect you, to honor you, when you are the most despicable and dishonorable people in the world? You can change your behavior and earn some respect. But people, you should know nothing stays the same forever. Nothing stays the same forever. Nothing stays the same forever. All things come to end. And your days are numbered. I mean, you can try to manipulate people. What did Bob Marley said? He said, you can fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. You cannot fool all the people all the time. Oh my God. Of course, this is not about all Jewish people, because there are plenty of wonderful, decent human beings who happen to be Jewish. Some of the loudest voices for Palestine happen to be Jewish. But I'm talking about the little pathetic, ugly Israelis And they are not pretty, let me tell you. They are not pretty. You are pathetic. You have no culture. You have no taste. You have no decency, no humanity. You feel no shame. How could people who want goodness to themselves want nothing but death and destruction for others? The amount of manipulation, people are not stupid. The truth is out, and you're not gonna get away with your bullshit. You should know that a few months ago, no one was able to say, let's say, anything about you people. But now, no matter how much you try to buy the media and censor people, the truth is out. The cat's out of the bag. The genie ain't going back to the bottle. It is done. You are despicable. Despicable. Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Hey, quick question. Since when did the good guys try to remove 15 years of documentation, videos, footage, photos from the internet? Since when did the good guys change the meanings and definitions of words to suit their narrative better? Since when did the good guys justify their horrendous actions against a group of people by claiming that that group of people are animalistic or backwards thinking? Since when did the good guys have to pay hundreds and thousands of people hundreds and thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to side with them and what they are doing? Since when did the good guys use accusations of child neglect and abuse or human shields as justification to kill those children? Since when did the good guys systemically oppress a group of people through policies and regulations that parallel that of the Jim Crow era America? Since when did the good guys systematically not only allow but encourage the theft of people's land or homes by violence, by threatening, by force? Since when did the good guys target civilian bodies and destroy civilian infrastructure as a way to cripple the governing body, regardless of what actions that governing body committed? Since when did the good guys kill over 10,000 children? That's the one thing I do not now and never will understand, is when do the good guys do these things? The good guys never do these types of things. And historically, if you look back, it's often the worst of the worst type of people who do these things. This wasn't okay in the 1940s. This wasn't okay in the 1960s. This wasn't okay in the 1990s. This is not okay today. The only difference today is that they are on the side of the supposed good guys. Have a great day. Free Palestine.
Tell me why I'm crying in my local library. This is in the entrance of the library. And I cannot stop. Like the feeling in my chest, I did not expect to feel seeing this. Like, I've never felt this way. It was just like this overwhelming, like ice in my veins. Like, it's just so weird to be seen. And I don't even know if I want to tell you guys where it is, because I don't want it to be like taken down. But yeah, this is it, guys. This is what solidarity and allyship looks like. I'm trying to process why I felt the way that I felt when I saw that display. Like, my stomach sank and I actually got scared. Like, I said ice in my veins because it felt like a rush of anxiety, like, oh my God. My immediate reaction was, they're gonna take this down. And that's so scary. it's so sad that, like, that's the fear, that you can't exist. That even acknowledging your existence is problematic. And I'm sick of feeling that way. I'm sick of feeling like I'm too afraid for us to exist, to say I want to exist. And this display made me realize, like, my own internal colonization. Like, my mind is colonized. The fact that I felt like I couldn't have a space in a place like this meant that I colonized myself from seeking out these opportunities, from existing in these spaces. And God, we have got to let go of what they've done to our minds, because damn it, we deserve to exist in these spaces.
Never in my life have I seen a country burn through as much goodwill as Israel has in the 2 months after October 7th. In the immediate aftermath of the October 7th massacre, there was so much international goodwill directed towards Israel, towards Israeli civilians, and even towards the Israeli government. Even many fierce critics of Israel opened up their hearts and expressed sympathy for the people butchered on October 7th. And if Israel had decided to engage in a proportional response, perhaps something like a Zero Dark 30 style raid on some high-level Hamas operatives in Qatar or in Gaza, their actions would have been met with acclaim by the international community. The New York Times would have gone on and on about how this is more evidence that Israel is the world's most moral army, that they have a different value system than their savage Arab neighbors, and that they truly are the bulwark of democracy in the region. Thing is, none of those things are true about Israel, and I think that's exactly what Hamas was counting on. You see, they understood that in the immediate aftermath of October 7th, Israel would engage in a carpet bombing of Gaza. Why? Because they cannot help themselves. And to understand why they cannot help themselves, you have to understand the 75-year history of the colonization and the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. I have been revisiting this myself by going back through Ilan Pappé's book, The Ethnic Cleansing of Palestine, in which he describes the early methods that the Israelis used to displace the Palestinian population back in the 1930s and 40s. These included building settlements on top of hills above Palestinian villages and rolling down barrels full of explosives and large steel balls, as well as oil barrels that would explode and ignite, and then when the Palestinians would rush out of their houses to put out the flames, they would shoot them with sniper fire. The book goes in depth to describe exactly how Israel planned to coordinate the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, which is remembered in the official Israeli histories in a very different way. There is a stunning familiarity to the methods that Israel employed back in the 1930s and 40s to the ones they are employing now in Gaza and in the West Bank. See, a lot of liberal Zionists would like to tell you that there is a distinction between the previous good Israel and the current bad Israel, which is characterized by the reign of Netanyahu, who is a fascist, and the vicious settlements in the West Bank. But the reality is that there is a direct through line to what was going on in the 1930s and the 1940s and the methods used to displace the Palestinians and what is going on today to finalize and complete the ethnic cleansing of Palestine. These are very uncomfortable topics for a lot of Zionists, both Jewish and non-Jewish alike. Part of the reason for this is that the official Israeli histories paint a very different picture of the founding of Israel, and you would only know otherwise if you had decided to question the official narrative and read actual historical sources about what happened during the Nakba in 1948. As my Arab Israeli friend Dahab likes to say, if you've read a single book about the history of Palestine, you've probably read more about it than most Israelis. 75 years of lobbying Western governments and championing a single narrative about the history of Israel and why it is so important has completely backfired, and Israel is completely losing control of the narrative, which is why they're becoming increasingly violent, both in Lebanon, in Gaza, and in the West Bank. This is a very common action on the part of colonial regimes who are reaching the point of internal implosion. As they lose sympathy and lose control of the narrative and the population, they take the mask off and double down on the violence. It is a horrific thing to watch, but it might also be the undoing of the conditions that allowed for this to happen in the first place. This is no longer an Arab issue. This is no longer a Middle Eastern issue. What Israel decided to do to Palestine after October 7th has turned this into an international human rights issue that's not going away anytime soon, and it's our job to make sure it doesn't.